Next, we will be covering the following features: electronic signature, electronic batch record, approved customer list, and customer-specific certificate of analysis. Electronic signatures provide a secure way to confirm a person's identity when approving or initiating a process. In many regulated industries, they carry the same legal weight as a handwritten signature and are required for compliance with standards like FDA 21 CFR Part 11. On the electronic signature requirements page, administrators can enable a range of processes that require electronic signatures. Advanced Quality Management now extends this capability by supporting e-signatures for the highlighted processes. Additionally, the following enhancements have been introduced to define stricter password requirements for users signing off processes with an electronic signature. These enhancements allow administrators to configure the password expiration period in days, the minimum password length, the minimum number of alphanumeric characters required, the minimum number of numeric characters required, the minimum number of special characters required. As we move from electronic signatures into the broader landscape of compliant digital manufacturing, the next foundational element is the electronic batch record. While electronic signatures ensure the who and when behind critical actions, electronic batch records focus on the what and how, capturing every detail of production in a controlled, auditable way. Electronic batch records, often called EBRs, play a key role in meeting the requirements of 21 CFR Part 11, which governs how life science and pharmaceutical companies manage electronic documentation. In simple terms, EBRs make sure that everything about how a batch is made is captured accurately, securely, and in a way that stands up to regulatory scrutiny. EBRs are made up of two main parts: the Master Manufacturing Record, MMR. Think of this as the blueprint. It defines the approved methods for producing an item and the different ways its characteristics should be measured. The Batch Production Record, BPR. This is the real-world execution. It captures exactly how a specific batch was made, including the actual measurements, ingredient characteristics, and quantities used. For electronic batch records, it's generally expected that electronic signatures are required for the highlighted features. In the right pane, set signature required to yes to ensure that users must provide a signature when performing actions related to that feature. In the production control parameters, just set a few options to turn on electronic batch records. Use electronic batch records. Switch this to yes to enable EBRs. When you do, the system requires BOMs, formulas, and routes to be unapproved before editing so it can capture electronic signatures. While EBRs are on, editing is automatically blocked for approved records until approval is removed and reapplied after changes. Include batch expiration on BPR. Choose whether the batch expiration date should appear on the BPR report. Suppress work instructions on EBR. Hide the work instruction section on the BPR if none exist. Allow BPR to print multiple reports. Decide whether several BPRs can be printed in one go or only individually. The electronic batch record, EBR, is uniquely identified by a number generated from a number sequence that must be configured in the production control parameters. From the production and batch order list pages, you can access the EBR directly through the provided link. Supervisors can access and review both the MMR and the EBR from their dedicated inquiry pages. Here, all master manufacturing record details for product P2000 are shown. In the EBR inquiry page, all details for EBR record 03 related to the production of product P21200 are displayed. Supervisors can also print the EBR report directly from the inquiry page. Now that we've wrapped up electronic batch records, let's shift gears and look at another control feature, the approved customer list. This tool helps you manage which customers are allowed to buy specific products, especially when you work with private label items or customers that have special agreements. By pre-approving customers, you streamline order processing and make sure restricted products only go to the customers they're intended for. To authorize specific customers or whole customer groups to buy certain products on a recurring basis, you use the Approved Customer List Setup page. This is where you define the relationship between a customer or customer group and an item or item group to control who is allowed to purchase what. When creating a customer-item relationship, you choose the relationship type. The system supports the following options. A specific customer can buy a specific item. A specific customer can buy any item within an item group. A customer group can buy a specific item. A customer group can buy any item within an item group. When you approve a product for a customer by setting up a customer-item relationship, you also define the ACL check method at both the customer level and the item level. The check method validates the customer-item combination and ensures the customer is authorized to buy the product. Here you can see the ACL check method that's available on the product page. And here is the corresponding check method you can set on the customer page. The ACL check method controls what happens if a customer attempts to purchase an item they aren't approved for. It also verifies that the transaction date falls within the item's effective approval period. Depending on your setup, the system can simply warn the user or block the transaction entirely. Available ACL check methods. No check. No validation is performed. Any customer-item combination is allowed. Warning only. A warning message appears, but the user can continue. Not allowed. An error message is shown, and the transaction cannot proceed. The ACL check method applies to sales agreements, sales quotations, and sales orders. Depending on the method you choose, only items authorized for the selected customer can be added to the document. When a line is created for any of these document types, the clerk is shown only the products approved for that specific customer. Now that we've covered how we manage approved customers, the next step is making sure the documentation we send them is just as tailored. This brings us to customer-specific certificates of analysis. With this capability, each customer receives a certificate of analysis that reflects their exact requirements, which tests to include, which ranges to apply, and how the results should be presented. You configure customer-specific requirements for each test group member by opening the Customer COA Requirements page from the Action pane. From here, you can set up requirements for a single customer, a customer group, or for all customers at once. And for each requirement, you have several configuration options. Exclude. When selected, this test group member is excluded from the COA report. Use customer-specific ranges. Apply customer-specific min/max ranges for the batch attributes in the report. If not set, the product-specific ranges are used. Suppress min or max values. Hide the min/max values defined on the test group member in the COA report. Replace pass results. Use this field when you want to show a standard text instead of the actual pass result or numeric values. For example, you might enter something like conforms to specification. This is useful when a customer prefers specific wording or when you don't want to expose your internal limits. Replace failed results. Use this field to show a standard message instead of fail or the actual out-of-range value. For example, you can enter does not meet specification. This helps keep the wording consistent and avoids showing sensitive details that some customers shouldn't see. Here is a short example of how a certificate of analysis can be generated. A sales order is ready for shipment. The material being shipped has already been tested on a quality order linked to the sales order. When processing the packing slip, you simply select the option to automatically print the certificate of analysis, ensuring it is included with the goods and accompanies the shipment together with the packing slip. That wraps up our walkthrough of the 4 features showcased in the recording. Together, these capabilities strengthen traceability, consistency, and compliance across the entire manufacturing and release process. Each feature plays a distinct role, but their real value comes from how they connect, authenticating actions, documenting production, tailoring customer-facing quality information, and ensuring shipments align with approved relationships. Overall, they help teams operate with greater confidence and control from start to finish. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more updates.